Wait, that is not right. Some of you are probably screaming at me just then. It needs to go this way. I just made the cutest gift for my mom for Mother's Day. This video will go live the day after Mother's Day, so this will not be a spoiler. But I had seen something similar to this around on the internet, but I couldn't find an actual like pattern, so I made one. We're gonna make these teacup pouches today. Isn't that the cutest? The little tea bag is the zipper pull. So cute. Here's my original prototype. I made this in Natalie's colors. Okay, so today I have this tutorial for you, and I also made a printable PDF pattern. So you will need to go get that because it has the pattern pieces in it. So I'll put the link to that in the very first part of the description. Unless, of course, you want to draw your own teacup shape, and then you can just watch the video and be good. But I have done all of that work for you in a convenient printable PDF pattern with all the photos and instructions, so you don't have to rewatch the video every time you want to make one. So I'm Nikki, this is Pin Cut Sew. At the end, I'm gonna pop back and tell you a bunch of ideas I have for gifting this, because I love to gift little handmade somethings with little store-bought somethings or little things inside. So I have a few ideas for that. So at the end, I will tell you what those are, and then you can add your own in the comments. But for now, hop over and get your pattern so we can get started making the teacup zipper pouch. Let's hop in. Okay, here's what you're going to need. Of course, your pattern pieces. Yours will look pretty with nice markings and stuff. Mine are just my prototypes. You're going to need some fusible fleece. If you don't have or can't find this, this is actually kind of a staple now in my sewing room. I love it for little projects like this, better than batting, because this fuses and it's not as thick as batting. So I can use this without my walking foot. It's not shifty, but if all you have is batting or actual fleece or whatever, even a couple layers of flannel would work good to give it some poof, you know. So anything like that, but I like this fusible fleece. I get it on Amazon, so I can link to it. You're also going to need a 7-inch zipper. So I have a little supply here. And then, of course, for decorations, you can use whatever laces or rickracs you want. I have quite a stash. I organized it yesterday, though. Doesn't it look nice? Okay, so I'm going to use my Liberty fabric. You need one for your outside, one for your lining, and a tea bag fabric. I think I'm going to do these two fabrics, and I'll make the tea bag out of this fabric also. Oh, you also need something for your handle. I was using this thick cord stuff that I like to get from Hobby Lobby, but they were out. I went to look for more because I used the last of it on these, and they were out. But they did have this natural color. And so I liked this color too. You can also use, like, you can make a very skinny bias tape as a handle. You can use a grosgrain ribbon, and I will show you how to do those things instead. Or kind of whatever you have. Something stiff enough to kind of hold its shape, though, is what's important. And then you'll need a very tiny ribbon or something that fits through your zipper teeth or your zipper pull for the tea bag. Okay, so first let me just cut my pieces. I need 2 of each. Okie dokie. Step 1 is to go fuse my fleece to my outside pieces. If you're not using fusible fleece, then you'll want to layer these and use a basting stitch pretty close to the edges to hold it all together. Okay, and now the fun part is to decorate it. So I have these cute little laces. I was given some of these. Oh, this one's cute. If I used that and the brown zipper, would be cute. Anyway, and others I got from estate sales. So whenever I see little things like this, I usually snatch them up because it's one of those things it's nice to have a little stash of. I also have the pink. That's cute too, but I think I like this brown piece. Yeah, because I didn't want to use this zipper because it doesn't match this, and I found that annoying. So on just one of my front pieces, I'm going to go stitch this in place. I like to make it sort of a curved shape because teacups are that way in perspective, you know? I'm just eyeballing it, trying not to make it crooked. All right, I'm just gonna go stitch this on along the top edge. Okay, I also think it's fun to layer some rickrack on top, but on this one, I think the ribbon is decorative enough that I'm not going to, I think. But maybe I'll just go look and see what I have. Might be fun to like layer ribbons too, you know? You can get very creative with this part, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I found some options. I don't think that's quite the right color, nor is that. I think I'm gonna leave it alone, actually. Okay. So the next step is the zipper. This is probably the part that you find intimidating, but don't worry. It's gonna be so easy. I actually already have a zipper pouch tutorial on YouTube, and it's basically like a pattern packet of how to make zipper pouches in any size with or without boxed corners, and it will teach you how to do zippers in the exact same way that we're about to do it right now. So you're going to open your zipper. It's only important that your zipper be longer than your piece for zipper pouches. And we're going to put it so that the pull is on the right and the stopper is on the left. Flip it over so we're right sides together. Position it so that the stopper is about 3/8 of an inch from the left edge. And we're going to clip. Okay, so now you can put the zipper foot on your sewing machine and you can go sew this in place if you want, or baste it in place, but I'm gonna skip that. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my lining piece, number 1. I'm going to sandwich the zipper in between and re-clip or re-pin if you're using pins. The zipper foot that likely came with your machine is all you need to sew zippers, and you can even sew them if you don't have one. I have done that so many times. So let me go show you what this looks like with a zipper foot attached. Okay, this is what my zipper foot looks like. I'm going to unclip that foot, clip my zipper foot on. And then you'll notice that your zipper foot has spaces for your needle on either side of it. So that is so that you can decide which side you want it. So you have to move your needle over to one side or the other. I'm putting mine all the way over to the left because the bulk of my piece is on the left. So now you can sew this zipper on without the bulk of this getting in the way of your presser foot and making it all wonky and trying to jump off of it. For a seam allowance guide, I like to just place the edge of my piece, find kind of a place to aim for on your zipper foot and try to keep it straight, if that makes sense. So mine's a little bit more to the right than the very center of my presser foot because I'm trying to aim for a 1/4 inch seam here. You're just gonna sew through all layers all the way down. So now we have this. Okay, so now I can open this out and I'm going to flip it over to where it belongs. I'm going to press this from both sides so that everything is nice and flat, and then I'm going to top stitch it with my zipper foot still attached. Okay, so now I have this. I top stitched it 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and so now it's all nice and neat. Now we do the other side, just like the first. So we're putting our top piece face down on the zipper, again with the stopper about 3/8 of an inch from the raw edge. I like to flip it this direction once I get it situated. And we clip. This piece is just going to be hanging out while we sew this. And now my lining, sandwich and re-clip. Okay, second verse, same as the first. I'm gonna go sew this. So now it looks like this. This is what it should look like, front, back. We're going to put a handle on this. You could have done this before. I should have done it before because you don't want to sew your handle over your lining piece too, actually. Okay, so I'm going to cut a 5-inch piece, I think, of my cording. I'm going to place it where I like it. So it's a nice teacup handle and clip. Okay, let me go get a piece of grosgrain ribbon and show you how you would do this if you don't have something like this. Okay, the reason grosgrain works for this is because it's sort of more substantial than like satin ribbon. Okay, so if I were using this, because this doesn't bend around, like it can't curve like this can, I would just put it here and make like a boxed shape. Like, you know how when you sew straps on, it looks like this. And you can flatten that or you can leave it like this, and that would look just as cute. So ribbon is an option if you want to make a little bias strip, sew it into a tube and stitch that together. That would work like this also. So you do have options for handles for sure. Okay, where was I? Okay, I'm gonna go sew this into place. Just kind of a basting stitch it there. Wait, that is not right. Some of you are probably screaming at me just then. It needs to go this way. It needs to go this way so that when you turn it right side out, it's like this. Whew, that was close. Would have got the whole thing done. Been like, doo. Now I'm going to go stitch this in place. Okie dokie, now we're ready to sew this together. Okay, so first we want to close our zipper halfway. This is very important. The zipper tab has to be on the piece, not off the piece, or you're going to be doing some unsewing. Okay, then we're going to separate the linings from the fronts, and we're simply going to position them like this so that they are right sides together. We're going to squeeze our zipper teeth towards the front, not towards the lining. So I'm turning them, because they're top stitched, it's tricky. Turn them towards the front, the outside, I mean. Clip. That will just help your zipper ends not look super wonky. Okay, so let me make a caveat here. People really obsess over really nice looking zipper ends. This is what I'm talking about. They come up with all kinds of very fussy ways to solve this problem. They make little tabs, they prep the zipper in certain ways. And so for a while I used to think I had to care about that too, but I decided to study some of my ready to buy zipper pouches that were made, like I bought from stores, even really nice ones. And guess what? They all look just like this. So don't obsess. It looks fine. This is what it's supposed to look like. You don't need to do any special fussy treatment unless you want to. If that's you, that's totally fine. Okay, so, but this is the way that I found it looks nicer, is to make sure that the zipper teeth are pointed in towards the front and not the lining. Okay. And then we're going to pin the lining together the same way, but we're going to leave an opening in the lining for turning. You've heard me say before, someone said this is the best tip she got from my last video. I put 2 pins in the spot I'm going to stop. How many openings have you accidentally sewn closed because you forgot to stop? Okay, I'm just going to go sew this. And you're probably thinking, what do you do when you get here? You can sew right over this as long as your zipper is vinyl and not metal. You do want to avoid that metal zipper stop, and that's why we put the zipper stop 3/8 of an inch in, because we're going to sew in a 1/4 inch seam. When you get here, if you're really nervous about it, just use your hand wheel instead of zooming right through. I'm going to take you over there and I'm going to show you. Okay, I have my regular foot back on again in case I forgot to say. I'm going to start sewing, back stitch. When I get here, I'm going to squeeze this with my fingers so the zipper stays in place so I can remove my clip. And to very carefully and slowly shove it through. And then I can keep going. Okay, I'm back to the zipper teeth again. Sew right through them. Too easy. Okay. Go turn it right side out. I picked these all up and my zippered foot was in there and I almost shoved it in here and I never would have found it. We are going to trim this not too close. We're going to trim it about here. Reach inside and finagle this right side out. Okay, you can open the zipper all the way if you can. Pull the teacup out. Cute, cute. Okay. Going to use my turning tool or your chopstick to make this nice and neat. And then before we invert the lining, we need to sew up our opening. So just turn this inside as if you had sewn it and go edge stitch it closed. Okay, now we can put our lining inside and make it nice and neat looking. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. You can go press it flat if you feel like you need to. And voila. Okay, let's make the little tea bag. So I played with the methods a little bit. On this one I used a vintage zipper, and so I could use this thicker shiny cord stuff. But these newer zippers, the holes are smaller, which is really annoying. So I did find this 1/16 thickness of ribbon, which does work. I wish it wasn't just white. I'm gonna see if I have anything else I can use that's brown. Okay, maybe this will work. I think this is 1/8 inch ribbon. Okay, I'm going to cut my little tea bag pieces. I need 2 of my fabric, 1 of my fusible fleece. Okay, so I'm gonna fuse this onto just 1 of these. And now I can stitch these together, right sides together, but I'm going to leave the top edge open. Okay, we're going to trim this to make it easier to turn right side out. Trim the seam, clip the corners. And now you may be thinking that's going to be impossible to turn right side out, but let me show you a secret trick. You need a chopstick or the eraser end of a pencil sometimes works. This opening is smaller, so I'm going to use a chopstick. Spread the bottom open. Put the chopstick somewhere at the bottom and plant it. And then pull the piece down over the chopstick like so. It's magical. Now I'm going to push my corners out so it looks like a tea bag. I'm going to put the top inside. If it's fiddly, get some tweezers or pliers or something. Okay, I'm going to go press this flat. Okay, so here's the last step. I'm going to cut a 12-inch piece of my ribbon. 11 or 12 is good. And this is what I like to do so that I don't have a knot showing anywhere. Going to see if I can angle them so they'll fit through my zipper pull. I'm going to go from left to right through my zipper pull with both ends and then loop them into a knot like this. Then I'm going to tie a knot towards the end. The knot helps it so that it stays in and it won't pull out. Especially the smaller of a ribbon that you used, the more at risk you are of that happening. So the knot will be fully inside of the tea bag. Okay, I'm gonna insert that there so I can feel my knot. It's about right here. And I'm going to clip this in place. I'm gonna top stitch all the way around the edges of my tea bag. Cute, cute. Okay, here's how it turned out. Isn't it so cute? And the tea bag is the pull. I just love these. I think they're so cute. Okay, here's my thoughts about using them and gifting them. I travel with actual tea bags. I have some stomach soothing tea bags I never travel without. And then also my husband and I drink decaf coffee. So, and I never would expect anyone that I'm staying with to accommodate me with decaf beans or grounds. So I just drink tea. It's funny because when you drink decaf, you actually don't need coffee in the morning. And so people are like, oh no, what are you going to do for coffee then? I'm like, well, I don't need it though. Like, tea is fine. So now I also will travel with like decaf black tea or whatever herbal teas that I want. So you can travel with this for actual tea bags, but also you can gift this with tea bags. My sister has gifted me little tea bags here and there with gifts. Like she'll put her favorite ones in, and they're usually ones that I can't find like just at the grocery store. So it helps me to try different kinds of teas. So that would be such a cute gift, but also you can pack this with little like lip glosses or chapsticks for little ones in your life. You can put a travel tissue pouch in here. You can put little sewing notions for your sewing friends, or you can just gift this as is. I think that'd be so cute. Also just pairing little something gifts. I have a whole video about little something gifts to sew, and I love those because they don't scream like, you didn't get me a gift, but I made you this elaborate thing. They're just like a little something, you know? So I would add this to the list for sure. You can make these for your quilting group, your book club, or your mom or mother-in-law if you want. Okay, so I'm gonna make Layla one. And this time I'm gonna try to use something different for the handle, and then I'll come back and show you, of course, at the end. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, make sure and hit subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And you can shop all of my patterns, quilting books, art prints, and stickers, and tags, woven tags in my shop at pincutsewstudio.com/shop, or you can shop on Etsy at Pincutsew, and I will link to that in the description below. I'll see y'all soon.